Hi guys, Durster here. I haven't got the forward-facing camera. I've decided I wanted to record a hot lap in qualifying conditions for tomorrow's race. I'm gonna actually use the Honda, which you know, it's certainly one of the strongest, if not the strongest car to use for tomorrow's race. Basically, front engine cars are almost frankly a waste of time. And then you've got some MR cars which are better than others. So the McLaren, for example, because it's actually one of the torquiest, strongest MR cars in terms of straight line speed, it's actually a bit of a handful. It's already a very difficult track to handle, but particularly so amongst the MR cars. Probably the strongest in terms of traction is going to be the Porsche 911. And another reason why the Honda works is because it doesn't really have a huge amount of low down torque. So you can just progressively ease onto the throttle and just control the rear end. So it's relatively forgiving in that respect. So I'm just going to go out. I'm going to start my out lap, and I'll skip forward to my best lap, my qualifying lap, and then afterwards I'll talk about, you know, kind of what makes it work really. So yeah, let's check it out. So, what is the source? What makes for a good lap? Not just one lucky lap, but lap after lap after lap. I think being as minimal and as smooth as possible with your input is probably the number one thing you can do. So whatever happened, you move steering left to right, throttle on and off, brake on and off as fluidly as possible. No sort of sudden jerky movements, maybe to correct something, but generally you don't want to be sort of squeezing and then bang on the gas out of nowhere. You just want to be so patient, because even if you're good at controlling the car, flicking around a little bit, you're going to wear out your rear tyres a little bit more, which could kind of screw you over towards the end of the race. This is actually, although it's only 13 laps, it's actually a pretty long race. You know, it's a 35-minute long race. You've got 35 minutes of constant, hard concentration. So, you know, you don't really want to be jerky, tense, stiff, and aggressive with the way that you move. You just want to smooth everything out, really. You want to be making turning points early. This is notable for this left-hander. It feels like you can turn in later, but actually you want to start tipping the car into the corner a little bit earlier than what you're used to. And that's not necessarily for all corners, but I noticed with that left-hander in particular, it feels that way. You want to be rolling on and off everything here. You want to be super patient on the throttle. It's better to maybe shift up earlier out on the exit of this corner here, because it's so easy to lose the rear end in that left-hander. So easy. And if you're wearing your tyres out throughout the race more than you need to, corners like that one, like this one, you're going to suffer more and more and more, and you're more likely to make that race-ending mistake, because you get dirty tyres here, and it's just going to be absolute agony, and it's the last thing you want. It's better that you were just smoothly following a consistent pace. So even then, me coming on the throttle, because I come on smoother, if it does step out, I just have a bit more time to feel that. But if you're 100% on the gas, you're going to make more mistakes. Here you just want to tip it with a very light hold of the brakes and just guide it in. So no dramatic movements here. Smooth is the way forward. And if you do that for a rhythm, it's going to pay dividends. Right, there we go. So 2:42.8. I had to do a couple of laps to get there, and I'm pretty happy with that lap. I know it could be better. There's a couple of places where I was a little bit skittish, but it's better to do an okay corner rather than trying to force a perfect corner when you're not quite approaching it right. And that's kind of the best philosophy for this race, is don't force speed. The moment you start forcing it, you are going to absolutely fall apart. There's a couple of other tricks I use with this Honda in the way that I come off the throttle for certain corners. You may have picked up on it. I won't go into too much detail on that now. That tends to be something I reserve for the special coaching sessions I give through the racecoach.co.uk. But I hope that gives you a good reference. I hope that helps. Any questions, feel free to drop me a line.